Here we are.
Hello, hey everybody. It's 15 minutes with stronger intuition. I'm Saba Hocek.
And I'm Victoria Wells.
So today what we wanted to talk about is what you feel in your body when you have these feelings, this intuition. But before we go there, we're going to talk a little bit about being an empath. And an empath is one who is picking up energy from other people. So,
yeah, I would say that is the most common form of intuition. And a lot of people don't even realize that they're empaths. And I would say that there are different sort of levels of being an empath. Right now, with everything that's going on in the world, I bet there are a lot of people that are absorbing energy and they have no idea why they are feeling either depressed, anxious, maybe even sick, because you could have physical sensations that make you sick when you're an empath.
Yeah.
So, I can start by telling you a very it's not a basic level, but probably the most common sensation that you'll have that can tell you that you might be an empath. Say you are in a room with somebody and they might not even be speaking to you, but you get a sensation that all of a sudden you feel extremely depressed, or you might feel extremely anxious. You don't walk in that way, but then all of a sudden you start feeling that way. You might even retain that feeling after you leave and you're not in the presence of this person anymore. Well, where does that come from? You're probably picking that person's emotional energy up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I think from the point of view of a hypnotist, the way I look at it is that when we're picking up this energy from the outside and we're feeling it in our bodies, then at the same time, the subconscious mind is saying, oh, I'm feeling, let's say, anxious, anger, whatever. But that's not jiving with the way you're feeling inside. You're not angry, and yet you're feeling anger.
Yeah.
And I think that's what creates the conflict, then the inner conflict of two contrasting emotions. I'm feeling anger. No, I don't have any anger. I'm feeling happiness. And then that becomes a discomfort. And that's why many people who are empaths, it almost works against them because they're picking up all this different energy and they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people who are empaths get extremely frustrated because they don't know that they should be trusting what they're feeling. So, for instance, you meet somebody and outwardly they seem really social, they seem likable, but you feel a sensation every time you're with them that there is something that's contrary to what they're putting out there. So you feel something is wrong with this person. And your mind is saying, I should like this person. I should like this person because they, outwardly seem pretty social, talkative, whatever. Other people like them. But what is it? Why don't I like them? Why is there something that I'm feeling is wrong? And so if you're an empath, a lot of times you get super frustrated and you still associate with these people. But your mind is telling you one thing, your intuition is telling you another thing, and therefore you maintain interaction with these people. And sometimes it goes the opposite way. Somebody could be super introverted, maybe they're socially awkward. Other people are saying that person's really bizarre, kind of weird, but you always feel at ease when you're around this person. And every time you're with them, you feel at ease. And so maybe you distance yourself because your mind's telling you one thing, but your intuition's telling you another thing. Go with your intuition.
Yeah.
That feeling that you feel deep down inside every time you're with that person. It'll make your life a lot easier. But that is a reason why empaths can sometimes get really frustrated and confused in life.
Right. So why don't we talk about how, now that we've clarified that, let's talk a little bit about how they know what that feeling is. So, if you are, let's say, with somebody, and let's go ahead and we can show you exactly how it can be done. Um, I'll show you the way I do it. When I stand next to somebody, and for example, when I'm doing Turkish coffee readings and the person turns over their cup and they turn it, and while they're turning it, I'm standing next to them and I'm actually reading their body. I'm picking up what's going on. And it's almost like a scanner or a copier. I'm just going from the top of their head. And as I'm standing next to them, I'm listening, listening, listening. And before I start the process, I will say to myself, please allow me for the moment to feel the energy of whoever is standing next to me. And then once I am finished scanning, I just say, thank you for that information. I now release it. So that I don't want to hold on to whatever it was that I was picking up. And while I'm going over the head, for example, I may feel different sensations going on in the head. I may feel this tension in the back of my jaw, which is telling me that they're probably grinding their teeth at night. If I feel like a tingly or tense feeling in the back of my head, it usually is because they didn't sleep well or they haven't been sleeping well. If I feel a sort of throbbing that happens in my temple, then it's coming from repetitive thoughts, and that will do it for me. How about you, Victoria? What are some of the things that you notice?
Well, I mean, a lot of times what I feel is exactly what the person is feeling. And I'm, you know, a Reiki practitioner, but I'm an intuitive Reiki practitioner. So if I run my hand over a person's head, sometimes I'll just have a splitting headache for a second. So that's a pretty telltale sign. If okay, so we're talking physical issues now. So if I run my hand over a person's shoulder and they have shoulder issues, I can feel a sensation in my hand that feels like an intense throbbing. So it's really like wherever that person has an issue, I'll feel a mimicking sort of sensation in my hand. And sometimes it'll go into that body part of mine wherever they have a particular problem.
Right.
If it's an emotional issue, sometimes I will start feeling that emotional issue just as they're feeling it. So if they're having intense anxiety, my heart will start pounding, and I will feel super anxious. Or if they're very depressed, all of a sudden I'll get really, really sad. So I pretty much feel things as people do. You know, and if there was a traumatic experience that's causing them a lot of problems right now, sometimes I'll feel like if they were in a car accident, I'll feel like I'm flipping over and over again, things like that. So that's how it comes to me.
Yeah. And same like when I'm going over the body, there's a distinction between emotional and physical. And then also this is all based on traditional Chinese medicine, but every organ holds an emotion. So I'll go by that as well. As well as different body parts. Like I found that, you know, let's say the hip is something that it's about hesitant on moving forward, that there's something that's holding them down. The feet can also have that. That's more of I may get the sensation that the feet are almost like itching. They're tingling. And that's like when they want to move forward.
I know about those angry livers.
Yes.
No, that's absolutely true. And a doctor will even say that too.
Oh yeah. Angry liver, liver will hold anger, kidneys are fear, lungs. This is why, for example, when we have sadness, grief, we feel this heaviness in our chest.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because lungs are grief. So there's different emotions that'll go along with that. So I'll thinking about that also while I'm feeling the sensation. It may be, for example, I'm feeling this push from my back to move forward, but my feet don't want to move. And in that case, I'm interpreting that as either they're mentally want to go, but they just physically they're not getting themselves to do it, or it could be that somebody is pushing them.
Yeah.
And if it's more in the head, the feeling of pushing, then I know that it's coming from them. It's from the back, then it's somebody else. So you really want to test. Everybody is going to have a little bit different sensation. So you want to experiment with it, test it out, stand next to somebody. One way to do it is a process that we use in hypnosis. You've all heard about the person's got shifty eyes, right?
Oh yeah.
Well,
I've known those people.
well, when we generally, and this is overall because it can vary, but most of the time, when we are recalling something, we will be looking to the right. And when we're creating that thought, we look to the left. Now, if it's an audible recall, so in other words, I'm remembering a song or something somebody said, I'm going to look right around where my ear is. As opposed to if I remember the visual of it, I tend to look up. And if it's a feeling recall, I look down towards my heart. So it's a particular process that we use in hypnosis. And it's called spotting, where you're going around with a pointer and the person follows that with their eyes. And you ask them to recall a particular event. And then somewhere in this circle, as they're following it with their eyes, there's going to be a spot where that sensation is stronger. And that's because that's the area, it's maybe an audible, maybe a visual recall that's taking place. So what you can do is you follow it on somebody else and see if you can tell before they do where that sensation is the strongest, in which case you are then picking up on their energy.
Yeah. Oh, but I'd also like to say what I would suggest you do is always follow those feelings about people, whether they are negative or positive, if you have them consistently whenever you're with that person, because those are those empath feelings that you really should follow, and they'll get you through life a lot more smoothly than if you ignore them, because you'll only have to go through things a lot longer if you don't listen to them, whether they're good or whether they're bad. So
yeah,
you follow those feelings, especially if they're accompanied with a strong feeling in your gut.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, intuition, the language of intuition, just like any language, needs to be learned and needs to be made more fluent. So definitely, as Victoria said, you want to follow your intuition and at the same time test these things out with somebody. Just stand next to them, say, hey, I'm going to do a read. Let me know, tell me if I'm reading it correctly.
Yeah, are you a jerk or are you nice? Because I think you're a jerk. No, just kidding. Hey, I want to thank, Jan Jan, haven't seen you in a long time. Jeff, Amy, thanks for coming.
Thank you so much, all of you, for coming. And as always, we will be here next Tuesday, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Hope you'll join us. And if there's anything in particular that you'd like us to talk about, just give us a call, or you can text us at 917-658-1660, selfempoweredminds.com.
All right, bye everybody.
Bye.